Hi guys, welcome back to Jungle Flowers Canada. My name is Grania and thanks for joining me. So guys, today I'm going to make another prop box. Sorry about that, my phone. And the reason why is, if you watched my video where my Scindapsus pictus got root rot and I put it into Perlite to try and reroot it. But I know this happened to me with my mycans. When the cuttings are too long, it's very hard for the plant, I think, to get roots. So I tried it, but you can see that I have more and more leaves dying off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it up just like I did with my mycans. I'm going to put it into a prop box and I'm hopefully going to root them, and then I'll start off again with new plants. I'm sad to lose the length, but it's either lose the length and save the plant or run the risk of actually losing the plant completely. Now I'm sure there's a number of mediums you can use in this. I know you can use Perlite, I know you can use Sphagnum Moss. I don't know if leca would work. I don't know if anybody has ever tried it. If you have, maybe let us know. But I'm going to use Sphagnum Moss because that's what I've used in the one for my mycans and it worked beautifully. So I thought, you know what, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So I'm going to put my Sphagnum Moss into my Dolllarama container. This was $4 for the container and the lid. It's clear, so it means that you can kind of see what's going on. And here I have two kind of half-used bags of sphagnum. So guys, I had an idea. Why don't I use the perlite? Just put maybe a row of perlite here and the rest in sphagnum moss. And I'll try putting cuttings on both and let's see how they work. Let's do a little experiment, okay? So I'm going to take my poor baby out of the perlite, and I doubt that anything would have started happening already. Let's gently take it out and see. So let's take this perlite and let's pour it down here. And can you see what I'm doing? I'm just going to spread it there. Okay, so I'm going to just take these and put them aside for the moment. They're getting very limp, the poor things. And then I'm going to take my sphagnum and I'm going to put that here. And then I'll wet it down. Okay, let's see how we get on with this much. I actually have some water here that I had actually soaked earlier in mosquito dumps. So let's try that. Let me get my gloves. And let's get this sphagnum moss right nice and wet. I could have actually steeped this first in a bowl with water. Probably would be more ideal, but I didn't. So there's no point saying it now, is there? So a little bit more water in there. Oops. That's a little bit of a mosquito dunk, I think. Okay, so that's nice and moist now. So I have my two substrates in there. And now let's make our cuttings. Okay guys, I just cleaned my scissors. So now, well, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to take these ones and I'm going to put them in water. So that's basically the tips that I had in the perlite. I'll just take a little bit. These leaves are dead, so I'm going to take these leaves off. So that way I can experiment on different ways of propagating. There's actually loads of nodes on these guys. So I'm going to cut them maybe like 1.5 to 2 inches long. That leaf is actually dying, so I'm just going to cut that one off. And I'm literally, guys, just going to lay them on top. With my philodendron micans, I did use little pots, but I don't have enough to do that. So maybe I'll just do a selection of some with leaves and some without leaves, and let's see what happens. I'm sure these leaves will probably die off because they're already curling, right? If you watched my video where I potted up my mican cuttings, you'll see I had tons of them. So I think the same is going to be said for these ones. You know what I'm going to do with the tips? I'm going to root these in water also. This is the new growth on the original plant. So let's put some on top of the perlite. Maybe just going to stick them into the perlite a little bit and see, will that make a difference? Can you hear Kieran walking upstairs? He's probably wondering where I am because he was in the garage all afternoon. So let's just see if they'll do better just covered in a bit of moss. And we'll also leave some on top and see does it make a huge difference. And then we can check on it in a couple of weeks and see how we're getting on. So there is everything in the prop box. And I'll also be able to throw other cuttings in here. So I'm going to put the lid on, but if you recall, I said I don't fully close the lid. I just lay it on top and we'll check on it in a couple of weeks. Okay, another thing I wanted to do today, guys, is my Scindapsus Trubeii. This was looking great. The leaves had unfurled. It was my healthiest one. It's sitting in a south-facing window that doesn't get a huge amount of sun in the winter. But as you can see, the leaves are curling. So you know what? I thought, let me check it just in case I have root rot again. I think some of the roots are rotted. Gosh, what is going on with root rot? There are some viable roots still there. But yes, some of them are rotten. Oh, I bet I'll have to take them out of there. I keep... What is happening to my plants? Maybe I overwatered it. And that's not something I normally do. I'm not a heavy waterer. So I think, yes, some of the part of the roots are rotten. They're not rotten all the way to the top, but let me just pull off all the rotten parts. So guys, what happened was I had a healthy one and then I wanted to bulk it up. So I added in another cutting. And that's when the healthy one went downhill. So unless I overwatered it after I did the cutting, I don't know. But now it isn't happy. You can see the leaves are curling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think, pot this up in sphagnum to try and encourage new root growth. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuttings actually here. So let's put them into sphagnum moss and see if I can get this to come back. So I have wet my sphagnum. I'll just squeeze it out so it's not too wet. And let's put it into our pot. So let's put these babies in. Oops. And let's fill it in. Now I put these in a bag and we will keep an eye on these also. I've certainly had my fair share of root rot lately, haven't I? And would you believe it's something that I never ever really dealt with in the past? Now I did get a new watering can that does have a bigger spout. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it. Because I had the same watering can for the past like 3 years, and then I bought a new one. And I noticed it is faster, so possibly I'm just putting, you know, I'm not used to it and I'm just giving everything too much water. So that's certainly something to look into. So I have a Ziploc bag. Let's pop this baby in. Pop it under my grow tent and let's see what happens. So if you like, you can blow some air into it. And we will check on this in a while. While we're down here, I thought I'd show you the mycans that I potted up the last time, and you can see how well they're doing. So I have them under this grow tent here, and I've been checking on them and watering them, and they look nice and healthy. Guys, here they are. And you can see they're doing very, very nicely. You know, you'll always get an odd one that, you know, might lose a leaf, but they look pretty happy in their new pots and under their grow light. And hopefully I will have these for trade fairly soon. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some more of my propagations. So this is my Painted Lady philodendron that I took a cutting of. It's been in here probably for maybe 2 weeks. So let's take a quick look and see, have we anything on this? And yes, we have. There are roots starting on that already. This is a great plant to root. It does very well. It's still early days. I'm going to put it back in because I'd like to get bigger roots on that. Here is my Epipremnum pinnatum variegata. And you can see there are some nice roots on that. Now I did put it in a sphagnum bag, guys, and it really didn't like it. It browned on the edges and it actually started to rot. Some of it started to rot. So I took it out of the sphagnum bag and I just put it in water. And you can see how nicely it's doing. So I'm really excited for this to grow because my mother plant got thrips and I had to trim a lot of the leaves. So I'll leave this for just another maybe week or two, and then I'm going to pot this up and hopefully this will take off and give me another new plant. So this is Scindapsus silver Ann. What's going on there? Okay, so this has been down here for weeks and weeks. So you can see there is one root on it. There's none on this. This takes forever to root, guys, but at least it has given me one root. So I'm going to put it back. I'm going to actually put fresh water in this. I'm going to put it back in here, put it back under my grow tent, and we leave it for another little bit. So I don't have the silvery Ann. So this is a cutting that a plant friend gave me. And now this is my Hoya Sarawak. So this was actually doing okay, and I had planted it in soil. I just need to feel the leaves. Yeah, they're very limp. So you know when a Hoya is not doing well, its leaves go very limp. So one of my plant friends gave me a plant in lechuza pon. So I decided to put it into the pon to try and root it, just to see how it gets on. So let's take it out and have a quick look and see if we have any growth on it yet. Okay, so we have some very fine roots on there. I can't remember if there were some roots on it when I put it in, but I can see some really fine roots growing. So it hasn't hydrated itself yet. This is a great Hoya, very hard to find. So I want to make sure I don't lose it. So now we will put our Scindapsus cuttings in here and see how they get on. Hello, babies. So my doggies have come down. Hi, Lily. Hey, Lily. Okay, so there they are. They're very fast. So they're going to the groomers on the 6th of March. They look like Sasquatches, the pair of them. There's my boy. Oh, my Lily. He's such a beautiful boy. Okay, where was I? Okay, there's my Hoya Sarawak Buckan lechuza pon. There's my Hoya Sarawak back in lechuza pon. There is my Painted Lady philodendron, my Epipremnum pinnatum variegata, and my Scindapsus silvery Ann. So I'm going to put them back in, and now I'm putting in my cuttings of my Scindapsus pictus. Okay, so let's see how we get on with this baby. I'm just going to take off that leaf and let's pop that down there. So they're my props for now. I still have some plants, remember, in my other prop box, so we can take a look at them some other day. Okay guys, so I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to ask below. If you wouldn't mind giving me that thumbs up, it would be amazing. If you watched till the end, please put the green heart in the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you did. It would help me out a lot. Take care, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me.